Dr. Carolyn Edwards, and the only reason I'm here is to help you live your best life now. We have two great guests, two pickleball ambassadors, and I have never heard of that before. So I'm excited to have them, and we have Sarah Gaglione and Lily Azell. I want you to welcome them. And before I let them say a little bit about themselves, I just want you to know I've been playing pickleball about 7 or 8 months. Good 7 or 8 months. I had took a senior clinic. And just seeing the people that are out there, the different ages, the variety. I played with someone 8 and I played with someone 85. So welcome our guests, Sarah and Lily, and tell us a little bit about how you got into pickleball.
Oh, wow. Well, first, thank you so much for having us here,
welcome.
having me here. This is just such a treat because Community News has been so a part of the whole advocacy journey that we've been trying to get courts here. So
Yes.
to be here at this point with all of the infrastructure that has occurred over the last couple of years is just really exciting. So thank you for having us. And I'm so excited that you started 8 months ago.
Yes.
I started 10 years ago in Big Sky, Montana.
Wow.
It's where I learned the sport. There were USA Pickleball ambassadors that brought the sport from California to Big Sky, Montana, where I lived part of the year. Learned it there, fell in love, came back to Miami, and there was nowhere to play. My first sport was, that was the first sport I ever played. A truly competitive sport.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. So I fell in love. I competed the first time in Billings, Montana, in the middle of nowhere, and got gold, and then got hooked. Then I went and I competed in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, the home of Selkirk, which is a paddle company, and got bronze, and then just got hooked.
So you never played tennis or anything?
I never played anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a latchkey kid, which my parents worked very hard. So after school, I'd have to come home and take care of my brothers.
Yes.
So I couldn't participate in all of the after-school activities that most of the kids do. So I never was able to develop a sport. I've been very grateful, very blessed. As an adult, I got involved in mountaineering. I'm a rock climber, a cyclist, but I never played a sport. And this was the first one I played at 49.
Wow.
So just got hooked. And now...
Me too.
Yeah. And so I became a USA Pickleball ambassador probably about 8 years ago to really advocate with our public system, our public courts, our governments, to get courts here in Miami-Dade County.
Okay, Sarah, and then I'm coming back to Lily because Lily has an awesome story that she has this big dream, and she made me dream bigger. So go, Sarah.
Well, how I started with pickleball was for health benefits.
Oh.
Mine was totally different. The doctor told me that I needed to start moving because I was getting diabetes. Mm-hmm. So I was getting depressed, and this was right after COVID. So I went up to Cape Coral to visit my aunt and uncle, and they say, Sarah, you have to try pickleball. And then I said, I heard of pickleball, but that's for old people. Right. I don't consider and then she goes, Sarah, you play tennis. I know you love it. I hadn't played tennis in many years because I became very involved with my daughter, raising her and everything else. So I said, okay, I'm going to try pickleball. They took me out to the courts, and that's all it took. A paddle in my hand and a ball, and I didn't want to get out of the courts. I was extremely heavy. At not one point when I was playing pickleball I was out of breath. I was enjoying myself, seeing the community because they're not in a senior community. All of us playing, having fun. And also I had my young 24-year-old daughter with me who she has never played pickleball or had a paddle in her hand. And I tried when she was younger to play tennis, but she didn't like it. But when she saw me playing, having fun, she says, I want to get involved. Awesome. So that's all that it took. So then after my visit with my aunt and uncle in Cape Coral, I was like, Lily, I wanted to find a place to play in Miami or in Homestead,
Right.
where I'm at, and I couldn't find anything. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Finally, I came across Saga Bay.
Yeah.
On my way from work, there was Saga Bay Park. I said, I wonder if there's anything there, because I knew there was tennis. Well, there was tennis, but with the lines, for
Yes.
pickleball.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God. So that was my community, and that's how I started.
And that kind of drives me crazy. All those lines. I actually played pickleball on a cruise ship. It drove me bananas because it has the basketball court lines,
Yes.
it has the soccer lines, it has tennis lines, and then it has pickleball lines. So I want the audience to know, like you said, each person's reason is different, but once you get on that court, you are hooked.
Yes.
For me, I also never played sports. Nothing. I did. I was a majorette in high school, but never played sports. And I was like, I don't know about this pickleball thing, because what do they call them? The bangers, the ones that slam the ball. They
Bangers.
almost scared me from playing. But once I got it and was able to hit the ball back across and learn how to keep score, I love it. And I played 3 hours today. My husband is like, you are addicted to pickleball. I love pickleball.
I love it.
But the story that Lily told that made me dream bigger, tell the audience about your dream of playing pickleball all over the world.
Yeah. It's interesting enough, it really came out of, I've always traveled. My husband and I love to travel the world, and we've been to about 90 countries now. But what really was frustrating for me was I was working very hard and trying to get the attention of our park systems. There's 34 municipalities in Miami-Dade County. And so I started trying to advocate for that. And I was not, but they weren't budging.
Right.
They didn't understand this, what the rest of the country understood. We were probably one of the last counties to really get on board in the state of Florida. So what I said, well, what am I going to do to try to get attention? And I was doing everything. I was doing all kinds of tours and letters and petitions and you name it. But one of the things I decided to do was I bid on a couple of paddles. For one was signed by Anna Lee Waters, who is the #1 player in the world today. She's a phenom. She's phenomenal. And then also Kyle Yates, who was one of the top players that really brought Ben Johns into the fold. So I bidded on these 2 paddles, and I decided that if I couldn't play in Miami, pickleball in Miami, then I was going to go to Antarctica and actually volley and play a little bit of pickleball in Antarctica with the mindset of, come on, we need pickleball courts in Miami.
Right.
So that was one of the many things that I did. And I love to travel internationally. It's the easiest thing to do. You take your paddle, you take a ball, and I reach out to whatever country I'm in, and I try to play pickleball in a country, and it's a great way to meet the local community.
Right.
It's part of my travel experience, and so I spent 2 months in Spain. I just got back about a month and a half ago and played in Malaga and in 3 clubs and made some unbelievable friends and contacts. So I've done it in Australia, I've done it in New Zealand, Scotland, and just different parts of the country, Costa Rica, Mexico, you name it.
That is amazing. That just inspired me. Like, who has a dream to go play pickleball all over the world? It just made me go home. And I told my husband, I said, I'm not dreaming big enough. I got to get something else going on. This is amazing. So, in Saga Bay, now tell me the story. You talked a little bit about how they were all tennis courts and how you all had to almost lobby to get the pickleball court.
Yeah.
How that started was when I discovered Saga Bay. There was a family there, Eleanor. You probably play with her in the mornings, and her daughter. They said, Sarah, what about getting some pickleball courts. And then, no, Sarah, her daughter's name is Sarah. She said, I tried calling the town of Cutler Bay.
Cutler Bay, yes.
But nothing came out of it. So she showed me the letter. And at that point, Saga Bay was getting very popular. There were people waiting in line for over 2 hours to play.
I believe
Everybody did their own private courts once they got there. They didn't want to share,
yes.
or anything like that. So I said, well, I have to find a person to help me advocate for these courts, how I could get it going. So Candela Lewis, he's another pickleball guru, I would say, right? He told me, Sarah, there's a young guy who plays at Sunnyland. His name is Connor Pori. He goes, go over there. He has connection with Lily Ezel. And I said, Lily Ezel? Who is that? I realized that. She goes, well, she's the one who helps everybody advocate for courts and get them into, the parks. So I went looking for Connor. Oh, my God. I hunted this boy like for 2.5 months.
15, 16 years old.
15 years old. He finally said, okay, Sarah, here's Lily's number. Or apparently he was the one who got connected to Lily and says that Sarah was looking for somebody to help her with Saga Bay. So that's how I got in touch with Lily. And when Lily called me, she says, Sarah, I have so many projects, right? And I said, but Lily, you don't understand. I have people waiting hours to play pickleball.
That's true.
There's only 4 of them, and then we had the issue with the tennis players. It was a lot of going back and forth, but many people were drawn back because, they couldn't play that particular night. So then when Lily called me, I was telling her all the story, and she goes, but I'm really busy with so many other projects.
Because there's 34 communities, 34 cities.
I was talking to her for...
And I'm a volunteer.
Yes.
Somebody needs to find a check to pay Lily.
So then I was talking to her for an hour and a half, actually, and she finally convinced... I convinced her, and I said, so she says, okay, you bring the community to Saga Bay, and I will speak to them. That's how it all started. And I said, I could do that, and I'm an analyst by nature, right? She tells me, but I need data, I need this, I need that, in order for us to go, to the town of Cutler Bay. So actually, she is my mentor. Every step after Saga, she brought me into the ambassadorship as well. And
we need good people, good ladies like this, people like this.
But I follow what she tells me, and I'm doing my own. She does it in different angles. I do it more for community.
Right.
I do it for a cause. As a matter of fact, I was just recently at a tournament that they raised funds over $7,000 for Jamaica and everything else. That's what drives me.
Yes.
And I guess my biggest thing about pickleball is I tell her the marketing aspect. I like going out there, talking to the community, filming them, seeing them, how much fun they're having. And that's what brings Sarah out there to all the tournaments. I like seeing them either, play, rec play, or whatever they do. That smile on every child and adult makes me feel very happy and very full of life.
And that's so awesome because Sarah is awesome at it. So this is what the show is all about, finding what you're good at.
That's right.
Your life is a gift, and then going out and doing it. She's out there with her skirt, getting to take pictures, and we get our paddles and we take pictures. We did the senior games and we had a blast. Who knew that they had something like that? And I participated my first time. I did not win. And I want you to know, someone 79 and 80 beat me. And they were friends from like Key Largo. So people are coming up from south and people came down from north.
Yes.
And we had an awesome time.
Was the senior games at Saga Bay?
Yes. It was.
You know, interestingly enough, Saga Bay, that was when I played my first senior game in Saga Bay on those line courts. And it took forever to find a ball because they had there were no 6 courts. It was 4 courts on those on those tennis courts. So it's just so good to see the evolution of pickleball.
Yes.
And so many people are into it now. So it's very exciting. There's communities like Saga Bay. There's so many of them in our county. I mean, Salvation Army was a wonderful thing based on what you do. Those are the first people that opened the courts, 3 courts up to our community to play pickleball when we had nowhere to play, and so much good has come out of that. So there's a lot of great. Douglas Park, another one. It's city in terms of adopting pickleball. And so there's that as well. So great community. A lady pulled me off to the side when they did a gathering for me, and she said, Lily, she's from Barbados. She said, this is my family. I have no family here. All my family is in Barbados. So I have the ability to come here every day and be with my community and with my family.
That's awesome. So you ladies are changing lives, because I am a beneficiary of your work. It's in my community. I live in Cutler Bay, but if you all weren't out there making these changes, we would not have the courts, and it is still packed, but you can pick different days that there aren't as many people. But I like some days that there are a lot of people because it made me level up my game. It made me get better. So I just want people to know there are about 70,000 courts in the U.S. And then, as Lily said, people are playing globally and internationally. I even saw when I surfed the internet that they have groups, like online groups. Come to Spain and play with us.
Yes.
Come to Croatia and play with us. Come to Jamaica and play with us. So just you two also made me dig deeper, so that when I go on vacation, now I will take my paddles. And even when I got on a cruise, people came with their paddles, their shoes, their own balls. So now I'm hooked. I got to get my pickleball time. But it was a little crazy because the boat was rocking and the wind was blowing.
Yes.
But I was so excited because I won against like a 19-year-old. That was a banger. And I did a good job. So pickleball is, like you said, it's friendship, it's family, it's community. We talked about like the health benefits, some people that are going through challenges. That's also like their physical therapy. It's like their mental therapy. I had a guy that he said he had a stroke a few years back, so he's using pickleball to get out the house. We also see widows and widowers who are now coming out, no longer home by themselves. And so we talked about a little bit about the communities, how we get started in the communities, but we also have to talk about preparing yourself for pickleball so that you don't hurt yourself.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. There are efforts, and there have been efforts out there. Baptist Hospital is doing a great job of getting these clinics for beginners out there, and they see the need. I was in my orthopedist appointment yesterday as I tore my rotator cuff during the U.S. Open. I play in the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships.
Wow.
And so I tore my cuff and I went to see my orthopedist, and he said, it's probably the one sport right now that we're getting so many injuries and people are not preparing themselves.
Right.
So having this wellness journey in order to continue your pickleball journey is really important. It's a healthy lifestyle, but it's that strength training that we need, 3 times a week. It is, and it doesn't have to be, going to the gym and all out take 30 minutes, have some weights in your home. That's what I do. I have weights in my home 30 minutes 3 times a week. It's the cardio, that cardio, it's the healthy eating.
Yes.
Having the right equipment, the shoes are very important.
Have my
Court shoes are very important. There's so much lateral movement, start, stop. They're very explosive. So having the right equipment is really important so that you don't fall. If you're having running shoes on there, it doesn't have that stability that a court shoe gives you. So that's really important. Just hydrating, especially here in the summer. Right now, we're not experiencing that very much, but so many people just are dehydrated because they're losing so much, they're sweating so much, they're losing electrolytes. So getting the electrolytes in there. So preparedness is very important. And I know that we have people like Al Agnon that I believe you did his clinic.
I did.
That is really out there trying to focus and help women and men, but help women in a phase where I think that we need a lot of support. So yeah, I think preparedness is very important.
That is very important. And like you said, Baptist has a clinic this weekend at Saga Bay, and people complained about the amount of time we had to stretch and warm up, but it's so important. And you don't realize when you're first starting the stretching, the bend, because you even have to bend down to get the ball. You have to run. If the ball goes somewhere, somebody has to get the ball or hit the ball, or you have to scream ball, or you have to go get the ball. And so you don't think about things like that, bending, stooping, touching your toes, because even if you're not used to that, you can come back up and get dizzy.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're running and you bend down and get the ball, you can get dizzy. So Sarah, you see us out there and you out there. What are the things that you see that maybe we can do better to prepare ourselves?
Well, I think it's hydration. It's number one. Number two is, people like Lily just finished saying, having the proper equipment, like your shoes, your shoes is very vital. Not only your running shoes, but your pickleball shoes, your outfits. I mean, everything to do with wellness. You have to be, at least have some kind of breakfast before you go out there in the courts, your hydration, nutrition, all of that is very important. And I do see that at Saga Bay in the mornings, they bring their snacks, their fruits and everything else, which makes me feel really good because everybody's keeping themselves very hydrated. So what to do, you guys have it all down packed.
I know. Saga
You're
Bay
having so much fun.
Yes, I'm having the best fun. And they are the veterans. They bring snacks. They bring like electrolyte stuff. Some bring Gatorade. Some bring bananas. One guy always brings fruit. So we have that part. But can you tell us, Lily or Sarah, any particular like exercise? Like, do we have to lift our arm? Do you recommend? You said weights, squats, or like what muscle groups do we really need to work on?
I think I always have a routine when I get to a court to stretch, and it's just bending down. Stretching your quads are really important. Start slowly and then start moving, having some static stretching first and then more movement. And that's what I do a lot of, just kicking my legs up, sideways, just doing some grapevine. I don't know if you know that from aerobics, right? So doing that grapevine movement is really important, again, because we're doing so much lateral movement that I think that is really critical. Also stretching your upper body. So that is so important because then when you get on there and you warm up, let's say 5-10 minutes with you doing some of the dinking and some of the drop shots and what we tend to do to warm up before the real game starts, that will help you tremendously. And even between games, because again, it's such a social.
That's true.
If you can have your buddies there when you're off court waiting for the next game, just remind each other, hey, we got to stretch. I think that would be really helpful. Because if not, you really can get hurt. I've had both my knees already cleaned out. I've had meniscus tears.
Wow.
And
From pickleball?
From pickleball.
Wow.
That was probably in my second U.S. Open and third U.S. Open championship because I did not take my training seriously. I tell my husband all the time, I said, I want to be doing this until I'm 90 years old.
I want to be Poppy.
That's right.
Exactly.
And the
In
only
my
way
80s.
to do it is to really take care of your temple, your body.
Yes.
And so that's really important. And I, sometimes my husband says, oh my, what else? I said, well, this is because I want to be doing this until I'm 90. I want to have a quality of life. I want to be out there and just enjoying life as much as I can. And let me tell you, I can hang with those kids. I can play with those young ones.
Oh,
so yeah.
Not yet.
No, so that is important. And the reason I can do that is because I do condition and that's important. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I think that's a great idea because we share the fruit, but we have to remind each other to stretch and bend. And even I find that the movement, you're not normally doing this at home, unless maybe you're dusting, but you're not doing this.
Correct.
And you're not lifting your arm and smashing something. So you think you're ready because it doesn't look like it's a strenuous sport until you do it.
That's right, because you're having so much fun.
I'm having a lot of fun.
You're having this fun and you don't think, oh, this can't be that serious.
Right.
And that's when you get hurt. But I think one important thing that I would love to point out is that in addition to community, all these wonderful things, what sport can have a child, a parent, a grandparent, all playing on the same court? This is a lifelong sport. This crosses all generations.
Yes, it does.
That means that we are, as older people, as more seasoned people, we're being able to be on the court with young, and we can impact their lives, give them the benefit of our experience, not only in pickleball, but in life. And that's really powerful.
That is powerful. And I don't know if you were there. Matter Bay is on that same, like in the community of Saga Bay. And one day we were playing on a Friday and some of the kids from Matter Bay had an assignment to come out and ask us what did we love about Saga Bay and Cutler Bay. And we hammed it up. We love pickleball. So it was so much fun. But we impacted their lives by telling our stories.
That's right.
Talking about aging gracefully, living well, doing what you love. And so they were so excited. You could tell they were a little bit nervous to ask us to speak. But I was like, the pickleballers will talk about pickleball. And so it was a lot of fun. But you are so right. I see grandparents bring their grandchildren, especially when school is out. I see husbands and wives. I see sisters. I see friends. I've had brothers, cousins, everything. So I definitely believe that it's not only community, but it is family.
It is family.
It's a family affair. Churches.
They come together. I mean, many times I've donated nets and paddles to churches. My grandson called me and said, I'm going to Senegal next year again. He started a chapter in his school. I'm very proud of him. I'm going to Senegal and I need to raise funds, $35,000 to get equipment and get materials to Senegal to build schools for impoverished communities. And he says, will you do a pickleball clinic, Nana? And I said, heck yeah. I called my friend who's a pro, and we went there last week, and we raised, over $1,000 in a day or two that we were working. So again, my grandson calling me to help him in a sport that he also plays. So I think that's a really special kind of sport.
I think so too. And it's also unheard of. My son is 6'3", 17, right? So I'm like, come on, play with me, pickleball. Oh no, they don't want to play until you get on that court and you start swinging that ball. So I love it for the bragging rights. I love it to spend time with my son. I love it, as you say, it's community. And some of my church members do come, but there are other church members, and I'm telling you, we're on those courts praying for people. We're praying for their life. We're praying for their health. We're praying for the kids. So I also see it as a ministry of sorts.
Yes.
And so when people are hurting, when people are broken, when people, like you said about the depression, they come to pickleball and you see the light come back. They can laugh. We can laugh about growing older, but doing it gracefully. We laugh about our aches. Like after you play and then you sit down, it's like, oh, I got to get myself back together before I play. You get a little stiff, but you can laugh about it. We can share stories. We have shared doctors. We've done the most for pickleball, but also I did my research. Y'all know I used to be a professor, so I got to do my research.
I love it.
I also see that pickleball help. You said depression. Yes. We talked about joy. People are experiencing joy. They get physical as well as mental and emotional well-being. Yes. It's almost like a therapy. So then they also build confidence. Yes. We're giving to the next generation. We're helping them and encouraging them. They may be a little faster than us, but we're wise. We're sharing wisdom, life wisdom, and we're also using it to overcome physical ailments. You think it's kind of counterintuitive, like if I was hurt, why would I come play pickleball? But the movement, as you said, the movement is making people more flexible. Things that you used to couldn't do, now they are doing. And so, as we said, when we started talking about pickleball, the time was going to run like quick.
So quick.
So I want to give you the last few seconds, both of you, to what would you want us to know? What do you want the readers to know? Anything, listeners, readers, that we didn't talk about?
Well, I just want them to know, invite them to look for pickleball.
Yes.
Come to a court. If you see some people, the pickleball community is pretty inviting.
Very.
Just join us, and it will just find a place and look at your public parks and join us.
Amen. Sarah?
Oh, same thing that I'm going to echo what Lily just finished saying. Bring everybody to play pickleball. Encourage them, family members. But one of the things I like about Saga Bay, especially in the evening, we talk about the seasoned players, but the younger generation that I have there from 4:30 to probably 10 o'clock, they say, well, you have the younger generation playing there, they are the bangers,
they are.
And everything else. But I say, no, but come to play with me because I'm out there with the bangers. They are so much fun.
They are a lot of
fun.
Say,
for instance, if I'm playing with a very good player who's 17 years old, he'll have my back really quick. He has my young legs and playing out there. We have so much fun. I like Lily says, I bring the wisdom, they bring the youth out of me,
they do.
And not only that, it's just seeing them out there actually having conversation with one another instead of being on the phone all the time or on the computer. They're actually out there, striving. So some of them want to become pros. Some of them want to learn more. Let's get them out there after high school. If they have nothing else to do, they come over there, and started to learn,
I agree.
How to play and how to be with one another.
I agree. And I also see them speaking more confidently by the time they leave.
That's right.
Because sometimes they may be afraid to play with us and they may look down, but after a few games, it's like they're laughing, we're having a conversation. So I just love pickleball. I love it. I'm glad I found it. I thank God for you two ladies doing what you do and making us have a good time as we age well, as we give back, as we build community. So this is our show. Thank you, Sarah Gaglione and Lily Azell for joining Get Your Life. And at the end, listen to Tamia Johnson's song. It is called Live. And the whole reason we're here is so that you can live your best life. Until next time.